All right, folks, here we are just recapping the weekend, the weekend that was. Sitting with us now is Nate Heckenberger, reporter, PA Prep Live, and for PAWrestling.com. He was here for everything, as Glenn was here for a good portion of it. I had excused myself from the early rounds today, for family obligations. But, Glenn, I'm sorry, Nate, did we get the right four teams out today?
I think we did. I mean, Garnet Valley, obviously the Cinderella of the tournament, but they earned every minute that they were here. That match was a crazy one against Henderson that Matt Flicker with the pin while he was on his back flips Bobby English to his back and gets it done, and that was obviously the clincher that kind of just, it threw everything into a crazy tailspin for Henderson with three bouts to go. So that was a remarkable job by them, and yeah, Spring Ford looked like they were on a mission this weekend, and they got it done.
Yeah, I mean, talk about Garnet Valley. I mean, it all started last Thursday night against Council Rock North. I mean, we were all just standing around in amazement what was going on over there. And Garnet Valley upset, not only number 4 seed, they beat the number 5 and they beat the number 6. Thought maybe they had a shot at number 2 in Council Rock South, but Council Rock South isn't done just yet. So, but amazing run by Garnet Valley.
Yeah, very impressive.
We talked a little bit during our broadcast of finals, and I think Glenn or vice versa posted the same question, and I think we all can agree we got the 4, I guess, hottest teams that are going right now, and it's a testament, like you can't show up and win this weekend based upon what you did during regular season. Like this is like when it comes down to it, and where the rubber meets the road essentially, and you have to perform. And the teams that are leaving are the top 4 teams that performed this weekend, headlined by Springford. Yeah, they were on a mission. We just talked with Coach Sliceoff, and his team, they were focused and determined to not go 0 for 3 years in a row in this final. And it's a testament to the hard work. And we had that conversation with him. Quakertown had a great season. They're not done yet. They're going to be a tough out in Hershey. They're going to be tough to beat. Sure. Glenn will tell you because he loves Suburban 1. But they're going to be a tough out because they're just they don't have per se like a true hammer on their team, but they got a lot of guys that can go. Just about 14 guys that can go. Not a lot of depth, but they got a guy at each weight that can go out and cause fits. And they do a pretty, up to this point, did a pretty good job of keeping bonus points off the scoreboard. It didn't work out so well from the final, but that's I think they get back to their usual ways this weekend in Hershey.
I can see that they're a really tough team. I think they'll bounce back from this. I think this was they haven't been on this stage in a long time. It's been since 2009 since they've been in the finals. I think a lot of these kids, not that they were nervous about the moment, but I think it was, Springford's been here. They've been through the fires. They know what it's like. They were in Hershey last year. They won a bunch of dual meets. So, Quakertown, get up there. They can win some matches for sure.
Yeah, and that's one thing we talk about, keys in a match. Would Quakertown get kind of swallowed up in the moment? Would it be the bright lights be too bright essentially? And I don't think it was. I just think they just ran into that immovable object that was Springford. I think
they got out wrestled.
Yeah, they were gonna. The Springford wasn't gonna be denied.
Yeah, that Zach Needles match, pinning DeFalco. I mean, he was winning when he pinned him anyways. It wasn't like a fluky thing that he just caught him, but that thing just kind of fired up Springford. I don't think they had any shot of losing after that. Just the way their bench reacted from that. And I saw Needles, go over there and get dressed and sit down and eat some grapes. I said, get that guy a steak, man. He just flipped the whole.
I don't think he can eat steak. He's got to make weight next week.
Exactly.
Consider the source, right?
So, so. What about not necessarily a forgotten about team, but one we really haven't said much about was Council Rock South. Like, where do they go from here? I mean, they're gonna host Central Dauphin on Monday night. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a big match.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big match out there, Council Rock in that big gym. I hope it's rocking. I hope they get people out. And I think it'd be a good match. And if Rock South can win a toss, and we always say that, and I feel like we say that every match, but these close matches, that's what it comes down to, is that ill-fated, as we say, or as I say, coin toss, and they can
the draw, where they start in the weight class.
Yeah,
Sizelove had to change his plan of action. I was watching him, by the way, in the coaches' room, kind of going down that list. And then there it was. He had to make a decision right at 195. Do I put Milano up and start this thing off, or do I save him for the finish? And I think it was the right move. Council Rock South, they have a little flexibility, but they have some big holes. And Central Dauphin has not been the same old Central Dauphin in the last couple of years. So I think Council Rock South at home is in a good spot.
Yeah, Council Rock South. I mean, this is the kind of time of year where you start to see some of the other names come to fruition. Guys you don't really hear about in the beginning of the year because they're taking their lumps, but guys like Woolishin and Doyle and some of those younger kids you haven't really noticed.
Flanagan's back.
Flanagan's back.
And
This is the kind of
Sabatinoff.
year where they start to win those matches, and you're like, oh, geez, these guys are going to be good again next year
Yep.
because their youth starts to get better.
Yep, and again, we were talking about the records, and I think Glenn mentioned last night. And he's like, well, he's like 16-10, and he's like, it's a Rock South 16-10.
Yeah.
Like that all bets are off.
Yep.
So
It's a well-earned 16 and 10.
exactly because of the schedule they wrestle now. In the same breath, I think Central Dauphin wrestles probably a pretty similar schedule.
Yeah, very
not
similar.
Not off the top of my head, I'm not positive where all they go, but I know they're at Cumberland. I believe they're at Cumberland Valley, but they're at
Conestoga Valley.
Conestoga Valley. So they're battle tested themselves. I mean, that program has a very rich tradition, as much so, well, more so than Rock. All right, sorry, we had a little power outage. Dave Jones pulled the plug on us, literally pulled the plug. So I believe when we cut off, we were talking about some Central Dauphin and their schedule and what they bring to the table.
Yeah, and I was just getting ready to say that. I mean, Council Rock South and Central Dauphin over the years, they're Goliaths. Across the state, not only individually, but in those duels. So it really is a good first round matchup of experienced district duel teams. But we could advance all four to Hershey.
It's definitely feasible. I mean, I saw Central Dauphin at Conestoga Valley. They got some decent talent spread out the lineup, so that'll give South some trouble. But I think, you can't count out Council Rock South this time of year.
No, I mean, this is they always say they're made for March, so we're getting that time where they're going to turn it on. And talking about Garnet Valley, their matchup, they have Archbishop Ryan, and again, it's a winnable match for them. And the way they're wrestling, all bets are off on that because they just beat some of the best teams we have. And we were talking, some of those teams that they beat were teams that were in the argument to be a top 2, top 3 seed in District 1, not just the 4, 5, and 6. You could have taken any one of those teams and put them at that 4, even at the 3. If for whatever reason that you wanted to vote that way, or how the wind blew.
If we were sitting here, several weeks ago, we wouldn't be talking about not having Council Rock North, Owen J. Roberts, and who am I missing? And Henderson, in this top 5 grouping. So kind of amazing. Garnet Valley is just amazing. I think, Ryan, they're hot right now, too. They've had a great year, one of the best years they probably ever had down there. But I think Garnet Valley wins that match kind of easily, I'll be honest with you.
Interesting about Garnet Valley, they got one kid in the rankings this week. It was Griffin Hollingsworth. He's an honorable mention at 126. He lost against Henderson. They still find a way to win. They're the lowest seed to ever make it out from District 1. So, they don't have the star power by any means. If they do make it to Hershey and they get Nazareth, it's going to look kind of silly on paper. But, hey, they've earned it.
They've earned it. I remember when I went to Garnet in the beginning of the year for scrimmage and talked with Coach Fantazi, and he's like, we just don't have it this year, and he's like, I don't know if we're going to, and if part of it maybe was a little coach speak, but I don't think he could have predicted this at that time. I believe he was sincere in saying that, but the reality is, he still felt he would contend for the Central League. And he felt that was an achievable goal. But
they have some business left down there.
Yeah, and I don't think in his wildest dreams would he have thought that he was going to get this far with this team. And, that's just a testament to his staff, to him and Conti and the other guys, the work that they put in to get them there and the work that the kids put in. Hollingsworth, his assistant, I know I'm forgetting some of the others, and I apologize, but this program, they're always lurking around.
Yeah.
And they've had some pretty big upsets in the tournament. I know they stung O&J a few years ago, and then, their favor was returned in the wrestlebacks, but they're always a dangerous team in this tournament. And, I'm glad they put it together and got out. And it's like you said, team with not a bunch of guys that are no names, just a bunch of guys. They're going to strap it up and they're going to scrap for however long it takes.
This senior class was freshmen that year that they beat O&J, so they saw what that looked like. And they're not to the level that Council Rock South is, but they're always one of those teams that are better by March, by February. You know what I mean? So.
All right, guys.
All right.
Till we meet again in the postseason somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. We're a few weeks away. We're gonna be doing previews, recaps at the district tournament levels, and look for different things, videos and stuff popping up for that. And of course, we'll be out and about at regionals as well, doing our thing and making sure we're bringing the most coverage we can to you. So you're prepared to know what's going on and who's going to beat who and how it happens. So Nate, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Appreciate
happy
it.
Yeah,
to be
thanks,
here.
Appreciate the
Nate.
Looking
time,
forward to
Glenn.
the
Always
rest
a
of the
pleasure.
season.
Yeah. So that's all we got here from PAWrestling.com. Signing off from District Duels. Thanks.
See you.
See you.